Hey, how's it going? Hey, I wanted to talk about these trails that I've been seeing in the sky coming from the planes. Most people know them as chemtrails. I think it's fair to say cloud seeding is another term for what's going on. And, anybody that thinks it's okay that whoever is doing this, because I don't think most of Congress even knows what's going on. So the politicians who are supposedly representing the people, they don't even know what the hell's going on, or who's doing this and what this is really all about. Uh, you know, it's not okay that they're not talking about it in the media. There's nothing. You have to go to the alternative media to find anything out. And what you find out is that this is a concoction they're spraying uh, in an attempt to cool the earth, to save the earth from global warming or climate change. And so the idea is that they're going to create these clouds around the planet and dim the sun and cool the earth off and save it. But this stuff they're spraying on us is an aerosolized aluminum, barium concoction with other ingredients, all toxic to human life and plant life. And knowing that the top elitists, that the grand puppeteers that are running this world, they want to depopulate the earth. They even write books about it. Guys like Kissinger and the Rockefellers and the real kingpins, the ones that control president and that start wars and that force their debt on nations. Those are the kind I'm talking about. They're a devilish bunch. They're very wicked, and they want the earth for themselves. They're tired of us using up their crap and whatnot. So they want to get rid of us and go to a purely robotic system. Now, I believe they'll get frustrated, as what's written in the Bible is that God frustrates the plans of the wicked and brings those plans to nothing, and I firmly believe that's going to happen. It's also written that human beings, you and me, were created just a little lower than the angels. So in that sense, we've got rather big shoes to fill, and we all need to be representatives of God as his children. That's what I believe, and I think a lot of other people believe that too. So we have to resist these forces that are trying to destroy humanity for their nefarious purposes. A very evil, selfish, greedy bunch of murderers. And so anyhow, but this chemtrail business is wrong on so many fronts. Okay, let's take the liability issue. Recently here in Chico, California, about 5 weeks ago, this is November 15th today, about 5 weeks ago, we had a hailstorm to beat the band. We had ping pong sized hail fell. Okay, there was hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars probably in damage to mobile home awnings, to new automobiles. The dealerships had dents in all these brand new cars, and the repair bill for these vehicles was over $10,000 each. Okay, so there's no liability. If these clowns that are spraying our atmosphere created this and it's not being reported in the news at all, they've got no liability for this. They'll call it an act of God, but was it? We don't know anymore if it was an act of God or if it was an act of these idiots. Okay? And it bothers me a great deal not knowing when it rains whether it came from Mother Nature, from God that is, or whether it came from these idiots, okay, artificially. That bothers me to no end. It really does. I can't understand why it doesn't bother everybody to no end. Okay, and just looking up in the sky. I mean, don't you want to know that the clouds you see up there are natural as opposed to, again, these idiots spraying this stuff? I mean, it's depressing. It's a scientific fact that too much gray causes a syndrome called SAD, which is the seasonal affective disorder. And so it makes you depressed. Now, isn't that a form of mind control? I mean, is that cool? Do you like that? I sure as hell don't. okay? And I object loudly. And it sucks. And I would do everything in my power to stop these idiots from what they're doing. It makes me sick to my stomach. So if any of the media out there is listening, the regular media, I say don't be what Gerald Celente has coined the phrase a prostitute, okay? Don't sell your soul for a buck, okay? We know that a lot of you anchor news media people and mainstream media, you're really being paid a lot of bread. I mean, I understand that when Katie Kirk was doing the CBS Evening News as the anchor, she was making uh, $15 million a year, from what I understood. And I think that's absurd. I mean, there'd be a great temptation to not tell the whole truth, to just tell what you're fed, even if you know better, and to make sure you get that fat-ass paycheck. I mean, that's sick. That is like selling your soul, and you will answer someday for that kind of crap. You know, the toxic stuff they're spraying on us, this aluminum and barium mixture, and with the other cocktail of ingredients. This stuff is a neurotoxin. So if you feel like it's getting harder to think, you know, you're having more of those what they call senior moments, and just slow-witted and a hard time remembering stuff. Well, aluminum does that sort of thing. In fact, it's been long suspected that aluminum cookware and the beverage cans, the aluminum that leached from these metals, because we use them in consumption in soda pop and beer and in cooking, that it was causing, or at least partly to cause for dementia, Alzheimer's, these kind of diseases. Okay, and I'm not cool with that. Hell, I want to keep my memory, you know. And that's a bunch of crap, man. It just makes me sick to my stomach. Again, I mean, there's just so many reasons why this is just not cool. So, anyhow, you know, do what you can. You know, spread word of mouth, and you know, let's try to just do something and just resist at least. Because I mean, if you just say, I'm not accepting this, you know, no. If I get a chance, I'm going to stop you. I have a right to self-defense. And it's just like, you know, you're spraying cockroaches. I mean, if they could, if they had the wherewithal, you think those cockroaches wouldn't stand up and say, hell no, you're not spraying us, and they'd attack you. They'd jump on you and cut your throat. I mean, what do these idiots think we're going to do? They think we're just going to sit here and let them exterminate us like insects? I mean, come on, folks. We need to get these pilots by the short hairs of their neck and say, what the hell do you think you're doing? And even if they are putting this in the fuel of commercial planes that are flying around, same thing. You got to say, no, we're not flying. We're not going to spray our wives, our children, our neighbors. We're not going to do that, okay? Everybody needs to do everything they can to stop these idiots, okay? And we can do that with the authority that God has given us to do it. We can stand against these forces. The worst thing they can do is take our lives. And, you know, that's, look, God's in control. He owns your life. He can give you eternal life. As easily as he gave you this life, he can give you more life, you know. So I'm not going to get into a big existential discussion about that right now, but I'll tell you this much. Jesus, he intermixed the words, okay? Death and sleep are the same word. Basically, your sleep reality is no less real than your awake reality, okay? So essentially, there is no death, okay? Because if death and sleep are interchangeable, then you get the point. Okay, so don't worry about what these clowns can do to you. Everybody's got to do their part to stand against these evil forces, okay? That's what I want. That's all I want to point out, is that we all need to work together here and just say no to these idiots, okay? All right, well, one last thing. Always remember, resistance is victory. If we all chip in, these idiots can't get their plans through, okay? Let's just, you know, stand up against them, speak out. They hate it. It stings their ears, so keep on doing it. Comments, blogs, your neighbors, speak to everybody you can. Speak to your boss, your co-workers, strangers you meet on the street, and let's stand against these idiots, okay? These are the same people that have destroyed our economy, okay? They've done it through price fixing. Look up the term and you'll understand what I'm talking about, okay? because they call the problem capitalism. Not true. Let's define capitalism. If we're talking about a true free market, supply and demand capitalism, okay, then when the slaves do a good job and, for instance, build plenty of housing, all right, and you got an excess, a surplus of housing, that's an oversupply. So the price is supposed to fall dramatically when you have been overproductive, as if that's a bad thing. You understand? And the price is supposed to fall, and that's a good thing. You want low rent. You want low housing costs. What do you want to pay the banks more mortgage? You want to pay your landlord more rent? I mean, come on, folks, let's think here. But in the mainstream media, that's exactly how we're fed this stuff. We're fed that it's bad that housing prices are dropping, and it's good when they're going up. You know, there's only a few essential, basic essential human needs. Food, shelter, that's housing, and water. Really, that's about it. And of course the air you breathe, which they can't charge you for yet. But it's destroying us with this spraying program they got going. Okay? So you want your basic essential human needs as cheap as possible. You want a falling price of those things. If you have falling prices, the money that you have now, your current income, is worth more every day. Okay? Don't be confused. Don't be deceived about these issues. Okay? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Deflation is good of commodities, and inflation of currency is good, because that's a result of deflation. If your expenses keep going down and down, your money is worth more and more. You're more and more prosperous every day. Okay, I can't make it any simpler than that. Okay, could you imagine if the mainstream media tried to report that rising food prices were a good thing? But what's the difference? I don't get it. How come I'm the only guy out there that notices these things, all right, that I've heard? I mean, you know, we got to wake up, folks. This is absurd. Wake up. Don't be idiots. Okay, understand the issues. Understand how you're being deceived. And if you're confused about any particular issue, you are effectively deceived. Okay, so wake up and stop being in this slumber and realize your very existence is now being threatened by these elitist pigs that are running things. And now I'm going to take the camera and I'm going to take it up and I'm going to show you what these idiots are doing in the sky right above me. There it is, folks. How do you like that, huh? Look at that crap. I mean, this would be a clear blue day, okay, if it wasn't for these idiots doing what they're doing. I mean, this just sickens me. Look at that. You think that's made by nature? It's not. It's not. You see that? You understand what I'm saying? I mean, this is like they're poisoning us, like we're insects. I mean, isn't somebody going to do something to stop these assholes?